What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, welcome to Tuesday's episode. So, definitely continue to tune in. So, Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion. Thursdays, I like to have a Ask a CSP, and I've had a really good round of interviews. So, I have 2 or 3 more scheduled. They won't be every Thursday. I like to kind of spread them out. I know Chen has some time off coming up, so I'm gonna try to slide in there. So you have to listen to me myself to death for an entire week. But definitely continue to tune in, like, share, subscribe. Please check out our YouTube channel. I would like to up those subscriptions. But without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
First off, it's not as bad as you think it is when you're by yourself. We're our own worst critics. That's how.
Oh man, it's terrible.
It's not. It really is not. But okay, so this article is brought to us by Wired.com, written by, I hope I don't butcher your name here, buddy, Dhruv Malhotra. Okay. Title of this one is Nude Videos of Kids from Hacked Baby Monitors Were Sold on Telegram. So what ended up happening here was there was these nude videos. So this company, Hikvision, Hikvision, I hope I said that right. They had cameras that were hacked, and I hesitate to say hacked, right? Because the method that they used was poor password security, right? So they were exploiting weak or known passwords already. It's not like they went into the company, from all that I've read, because I went to a couple different places to try to get the answer on this. It's not like they went into the cameras, they found a vulnerability, right? Because we know, even with the cameras, right, it's the Internet of Things, right? Like, people don't do a good job of updating firmware and things of that nature. So that's initially where my head went, was they didn't keep it updated. But no, this hacker actually exploited weak or already known passwords that people put in there. You know, your password 123s, your 1234s, you know, ABCD, stuff like that. So the big thing here, though, is that they've been whoever hacked it, this hacker, actually put these videos out here on Telegram, right? So with Hikvision, something that kind of disturbs me a little bit about this is I went to their site, right? And I went and looked. I was like, okay, so what kind of press release do they have on this, right? Like, what are they talking about with this being released? Because they know it's out there, right? Through Wired. There's another place that had it as well. There's another who was it? IPVM. They had it out there as well. So I looked in their blog, looked in past events, thinking maybe it'd be like a week or so old. Press releases, doesn't mention it at all. Right? Doesn't mention it at all. And we've talked about this before when it comes to public trust and these companies being honest with the people, right? With what's going on. And Hikvision's kind of been a little standoffish about it. Like, hey, yeah, we don't condone this or do anything about this, but we're not about to do anything about it, right? So IPVM, they were like, all right, well, look, since it involves what we consider to be child pornography, like, we're going to turn this into the FBI. Then all of a sudden some action gets made, right? But IPVM contacted the FBI on this. And so it's crazy because they were actually looking into a different story. So IPVM was doing something else, and they came across this, that they were targeting all these people, right? So the hacker that's kind of taking responsibility for this, and this is actually a few weeks ago. This is a couple weeks ago, or a week or so ago, week and a half. The hacker that's doing this is like, hey, I'm trying to prove that cybersecurity needs to be something that we take care of, but I have another company of mine is Dahua Technology. Like, he's going to try it again with Dahua Technology, which is another type of company that does the security cameras things, right? So these people need to be paying attention to what's going on, people as in us, the users, with what's going on out there, because again, they exploited weak passwords. You know what I mean? It's not like they went into, because usually we're quick to blame, the company for not doing their part and being on top of patching and things of that nature. But again, weak or already known passwords, right? So if you have one of those passwords, more than likely you've been notified. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you've been hacked because of this weak password, or you gotten some type of notification in this day and age, right? But that's not stopping people from putting them in there. And again, this was 500,000 Hikvision cameras that this hacker was able to exploit. So the fact that it was young children and it's child pornography, and it's not just child pornography too. They have some that were so apparently they have these cameras in gynecologist offices too, or something like that. Apparently,
What?
I
Yeah,
read
I
at one
didn't.
of them. Yeah, I was like, I didn't think that would be a thing. Like that's a medical facility, but they would title the camera feed because again they're selling it on Telegram. Hey, uh, children's rooms, gynecological and stuff like that. And I'm like, come on, man, like this is ridiculous. Like and so I don't know. This is one of those things people we need to do better, right? Like we know a weak password. And I know with some of the Apple products, like I'm new to Apple, but like it'll tell you if it's a weak or known password depending on what you're doing in some instances, right? It'll say, hey, this is a weak password, blah, blah, blah. Cause like for some things that are just throwaways for me, like if I'm doing like a food thing or whatever, like I don't store my credit card information anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? You'll get my name and my address. That's been out there for years. You know what I'm saying? So, but um it'll let you know like, hey, this is a weak password, and I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever, I'll change it. I guess I'll have to try to remember it if I lose it or whatever. But no, this is something that Hikvision, I would like them to show a little bit more care and not be as careless, right? The fact that they have no press release on it or anything like that, and it doesn't even have to, you don't even have to take responsibility for it again because it was weak passwords, but they have nothing on their site, nothing in their press releases, their blog, past events. They got one called Success Stories. This wouldn't be one of them, but but Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I didn't like the laissez faire response either. Just like, we'll look into this. This is just not being brought to our attention. Like, no, it wasn't. They brought it to your attention before. You just didn't want to take any credit for this massive breach. So it can go a lot of different ways, right? Like first off, I like to say this is a perfect example of why we shouldn't have passwords anymore. Should have the passwordless future cannot come soon enough. People just can't be trusted with their own security in this regard, right? Like you have to take a little bit off their plate because, like you said, they're using the password 123s or password as password, things of that nature, or another million things that we already know to be bad passwords. But thing number two, I would say it's the in-home surveillance thing. Like I'm guilty of it as well, right? Like so for our first two kids, the camera monitors didn't even exist, but we did have baby monitors. And like sometimes you pick up the neighbor's monitor if they use the same frequency as you, right? So that's like like old school, not really trying to hack people, but you could listen to baby monitors back in the day because they're fairly simple, uh, uh, kind of like walkie-talkies that are always on. Um, but you typically don't have them on just all day, right? You would unplug it, or well, like, at least I would. I would unplug it if the kid's not in the room, then I don't need to hear it. It's more for like overnight security type situation. But then with the youngest, the video cameras came out, and then barely used it because it was kind of like I can hear them. Why do I need to see them? You know what I mean? Like, but I get that because you don't want your kid to potentially be an uncomfortable situation, right? Like all bunched up in a corner, or they don't have a blanket on, or there's a billion different reasons why you might want to be able to see the kid. To make funny noises, you just want to have a visual representation. I'm already running to the room, right? But um, I get it. But then if you're going to do that, then you have to kind of be cognizant, like, because the only way they're going to get unfortunately, these pornographic pictures is outside of the crib, right? This is you getting your kid changed, or giving them a bath, and then, getting them dressed, things of that nature. So like during those times, maybe you should also cut the camera off, right? Just I don't think it needs to always be on. It's this issue I have with it. Like it should be like an overnight thing at most. But again, it's your house. You do what you want. But the more cameras you have in your house, the more uh, uh, insight people can have into your home. There's a ADT commercial I want to say, or one of those, or Safe Light, or no, is it Safe Light? I forget. There's a commercial where criminals like are thanking you for not having a certain type of appliance or a certain type of company. Like, oh, well, thanks for not having this. And one of them, they hacked the lady's camera, and they watch her open her safe, so they know how to open her safe. So she's watching them open her safe, and they're talking to her in the commercial. Like, thanks for showing us how to get in here, basically. That's the reality of it, right? Like people are very careless with setting up their own security, and then these would-be criminals are not careless in getting into it. So that I think that's the problem. And then obviously the overwhelming issue being child predators. Like those people should be locked up underneath the jail. But the problem is, it's too late, right? They already have the material. They've already got the stuff. So like obviously deviance outweighs all the rest of it. Like there should be no need for you to have to secure your stuff, because these people shouldn't be in the frame of mind or the behaviors that they're exhibiting. But can't change that. But you can change. It's not having a camera in your house, or if you do have a camera in your house, secure it properly. That's all I'm saying.
And not to stoke fear, like it was a couple of years ago, it was 2021. There was an ADT technician, like the alarm company, that was actually looking in on people's cameras. He was, getting gratification, from it,
Yeah.
from him watching people in their homes or doing whatever, right? But like, so it's not to say that I hear you in like not having the camera is probably the best thing. It's like abstinence, right? That's the only way to prevent pregnancy. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. It's
I
terrible
get,
strategy.
I get it, right? I get it, but like there are risks. There are risks involved with this, to where it's like uh, the ADT technician. I mean, that is a one-off, right? And I'm not saying he's the only one. He got caught,
Right. Who's watching the watchers?
right?
Yeah. Because
Like he,
Tesla had the same issue. Remember because there's a forward-facing camera in Teslas, or there used to be anyway. I don't know. I don't own a Tesla. I don't have any friends with Teslas. So, but from the article, like they used to watch people in their cars.
it was it Amazon too with the recordings?
It
I
may have
think
been.
it
It had to do with Ring, maybe. I think it did.
was it Ring?
Because yeah,
Okay,
because Amazon bought Ring, so
yeah.
there's some issues there. But yeah, like so I'm like you say, you're the patriot guy. Like I'm all for surveillance for my protection. However, if I'm going to do it in my own home, then I'm responsible for protecting myself. Like again, there should be no predators to even want this content. But if I put the camera in the house, I should secure it properly. So I think that's where Hikvision is trying to stiff arm. Like it's not my problem. However, you are also the problem. Because of whatever security flaw that took place. Like if it's weak passwords, it's weak passwords. Like it can't help that. That's the customer. That's the client at that point. But if it has anything to do with a security flaw that was uncovered, then that's obviously you, Hikvision. You need to fix that. And then when you're made aware of it, you should do like most companies, and you should try to save face by apologizing and making your customers aware that this is happening. So that way they can find out if their stuff has been exposed to Telegram, which Telegram, this is a fourth pillar. Telegram seems to be notorious for this. Like their lack of moderation. There you go. Their lack of moderation is uh, uh, storied, right? Like people are always complaining about Telegram. I've never been on there personally, but I hear you can get anything you want to get on there, because Apple was sued at one point for having Telegram within their marketplace. So people were able to just steal photos and things of that nature and put it on there. There were celebrity scandals and things like that happening, right? Like in like nudes of celebrities and posting them on Telegram for purchase and things of that nature, and it was all coming via the Apple Store. So Apple was sued for it. So I don't, if that's the precedent, then same thing could happen to Hikvision for just not stepping up to the plate and saying, "Hey, we have a problem here. People's data is out there, and pictures and things of that nature." So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what comes of it, right? Like I feel like this one will be ever evolving, especially because there's children involved, which is insane to me that there's such a market out there in the world for people wanting to purchase this content. But again, like I can't change human behavior. However, I cannot put a camera in the room, or I can secure the camera properly. Again, I'm not trying to victimize the victim, but there's a failure at every level here. When it comes to the security of these children's images. So that's just my 2 cents. But definitely continue, like look, I'm trying to pep back up, but definitely continue to tune in to the show. Monday, Tuesday are our topics. Wednesdays, a discussion. Thursdays we have Ask Us SP. Not every Thursday, but I'm starting to roll in a little bit more frequently. I definitely appreciate everybody for their time. Last one was Daryl Brooks. Upcoming one will probably be Darren King. So definitely check that one out in the near future. And then Fridays, everything else: movies, books, games, all that good stuff. Check us out at all the socials that go by our name. Here we are personally, I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.